Alright, we got a big blank here today. I think that it's spalted maple from what I ordered. I assume that's what it is. Cut one of these in the past. I didn't get it on video. I'm gonna give this one a cut and see how it goes. Its corners are a little too deep for me to get through my bandsaw, so I was not able to take the corners off. So we are gonna go slow. This is dry. I'm gonna try not to get a tear out as I get it round. That's gonna be step one. But this thing is 6 inches or so over here. This side is about 5. The blank is at its longest 8 inches, and height wise we're sitting somewhere around 8. So we're gonna try to make an 8-inch bowl that's, you know, maybe 5 inches deep, 4.5 inches deep, hopefully. Try to keep this as big as we can and get a true bowl shape out of it as I can. But like I said, it's a little off. It's not a square cut blanker by any means. I've got it mounted to a 4-inch base plate. That's a little big, but not too bad. Oh, it's not ready. Not wanting to thread. I'll make sure my scissors are out of the way. Anything wrong here? No? Alright, let me try this again. There you go. Just stiff part in the faceplate. Okay, let's turn. It's the first time I've used this faceplate. I may take the reciprocating saw and try and cut the corner down some. Okay, I'm back. That was not gonna work with the reciprocating saw. Like, it's just gonna take too long. It's way too loud. I don't want to listen to it. I'm gonna cut it with the lathe, like normal. We'll just go nice and slow, real easy. We'll draw it in from the end. That'll help us take it. We'll have to watch these now because I may have created an issue where I'll get a catch, but hopefully we'll be good. It should shear on its own line, so I don't think I'll have an issue. We got this big imperfection here, runs all the way through, but that should be outside the bowl regardless. I'm not too worried about that. For the most part. It may show up at the very top of the bowl, but I don't think so because it runs a little this way. I think it'll get cut out regardless. Alright, we're gonna get cutting. That inner line, that's going to end up inside the bowl. We've got a check out here. That's going to end up inside this plane. So we're going to try to use that inner one. I'm going to try to get it set a little better. Still haven't taken anything off this corner, but we're getting 3 out of 4 now. Just barely starting to catch the 4th corner. I'll move y'all a little bit, see if I can give you a better look at what I'm doing with the tool from here. I've got one corner that's sticking out further than the rest. That's why it's so jumpy. Gotta try and catch just it. I'll switch my glasses for a different set. That's a better safety pair. They're still prescription, but getting a little frisky and getting close to where I'm gonna get a catch if I'm gonna get one. I don't want that catch to hit me in the face and leave it on. We're almost through the funky part where I did some cutting and that bad bit is gonna peel out. Yeah, we're almost through that. I'm gonna sharpen this tool. All right, we're back. We got it sharp. That right there just sheared off, I'm pretty sure. Next I think is going to be this chunk here. When I catch that, it's going to pop, but hopefully it'll just pop that through to that flat part there. And this part does not want to cut right here. That's where I have that goopy catch. So just have to run it in, let it be. That felt like a good pass, or started to be one. That's what a gouge is supposed to do. That was a good cut. Nearly got that side that I had done the practice on fixed. Clean. Looks a little shallow. Clean, starting to curve. This is the side that's short. Okay, but we're getting happy. Definitely got past the pieces that were giving me grief. I think we're good now. What's getting me now is this side is not flat. So as I shrink, I still have like a, I don't know if you can see that, but this and this, they're probably a whole finger offset from one another. As it comes around, see? So through this plane, I've got half an inch of cant. Get rid of. And then maybe put a line on here and then face this thing to that line. Woo! Catch right there. Woo! Bingo. Bad one. Not through. I'll rock this too. Okay, gotta be careful. A little less. A little less. Man, that's like a jackhammer right through there. That does not want to cut. there's a knot here. So this is some kind of weird end grain actually. From where this went this away somehow, or branch inclusion. I don't know. My little fan's battery died. Pull it over here and charge it. Whew. Here you'll notice my camera does a slow creep in to try and give us a cinematic I had no clue was happening. You'll watch as the lathe vibrates, the camera slowly pivots in to change the view that we have. I'll catch it in a little bit. Okay, starting to get around there. Round. Big flat still. Still some flat. Little flat, round, flat, flat. We're getting there. Still flat all the way across. Just a little left there. A little left there. About the same too. That's good. Round. Flat all the way. Still no 500. can probably see we're getting a little cone shaped. I don't know how that lines up for you, but this end is narrower than this end right now. That's going to make for a problem when we're trying to do this. So it is going down pretty consistently. But yeah, that's why this isn't flat yet, because this is just up. I need to take this side down and get it true. That will help a lot. And we're going to work from this half essentially. These are flat, but we got it round there. Okay, so we're going to come this way a little. We're nearly there. Tiny bit right here that's still flat. From here, that way. You can hear the clicking. That's it telling me I still have a flat spot. Yep, right there. Still a little flat spot, but it's only about 1 inch. We're nearly there. Can barely hear it. All right, we're round now finally. Whew. Let's try and dial in this to make a foot like we were doing. All right, we're gonna move things around so I can cut off the end and get it flat. It's still giving me a lot of wobble even though this is round because of that, I think. So I'm gonna cut here and be back. All right, we're back. We got it turned, the banjo turned, so I can use the rest in the other way. See if we can't get this down so we can make a tenon. I don't know, when I get it hot, it smells syrupy. I really do think it is maple. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but there is a sweet aroma to whatever the wood this is when it gets going hot. And yeah, a lot of this is ingrain except for like right here. This little swatch isn't. All the rest of that is. Yeah, this is gonna be rough to cut. This blank was not really done the right way. It should have been the other way. So this is going to be a rough bowl to do, but we'll keep at it. non-spalted ingrain is rough, I guess. Okay. Non-spalted is tight, but that's okay. I'm going to set up a different face plate for the chuck. It's going to be a little bigger. That's going to be closer to fitting that. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got a decent dovetail cut on this. Happy with it. It's about 3/8 of an inch deep. I'm going to cut it a little deeper, face this off a little bit more, get it down to about 1/2 an inch. For the size of this, I want a good grip. And then I'll be a lot happier with that. Then when I start shaping the outside, we'll bring the tailstock back up. But I want to get this to be a little bigger than it is. I'd like a little bigger, especially since I'm going to be cutting and graining the whole time when I pour it. All right, we're back working on this spalted maple bowl. See if we can finish turning down this to get it the right size, and then start shaping the bowl to the shape we want to make it how we want it to end up. Got this full jaw to fit on here. It'll fit if we open it up a little more. It's got deep set, so hopefully we get a good grip on it. Okay, it's close. We actually need to shorten this just a little. I don't know if you can see, I've got a lip here and a step here. That actual little bit of step is too much. So I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit, and I'm gonna true up this shoulder in here to make sure it's flat. And yeah, so I need to bring this down a little bit and true this shoulder so we're square. That should be square and a good shoulder for the chuck. Let's see what we got now. Yeah. So I'm looking down in here, seeing that I'm flush to the piece of wood. I'm not bottomed out, so I don't have anything off the bottom pushing it funny. So that's good. I always make sure that I have one facing me and the knob up when I put these on. That way I'm consistently pulling it down. I know it's true. I'm gonna rotate it around, latch it down. Okay, got it off. We're gonna get the faceplate off and got a little rubber grommet that fits at the very end so that I can't actually run whatever chuck I put on here back all the way into the headstock. That helps prevent it from getting stuck, from getting locked on, because when a lathe runs in forward, every time you hit it with a tool, you are actually torquing it tighter. That's why it's a lot harder to get off, and why you just bottom it out. Make sure it's good and set. Set the set screw so it can't back off. Double check that it's tight, because it's going to be plenty tight after you're done turning it. And the bigger it is, the longer it turns, the tighter it ends up. Okay, so, oh well, I didn't really want to turn this around yet. I need to turn the foot. Well, we can do it all from the chuck side, I guess. Okay, well, we'll do that. Yeah, lock this down. You're gonna get cut, and I'm gonna move you back on the headstock because I'm gonna work on the bottom of the bowl first. I'm gonna bring the live center back up, so you won't be in a good view to see that. So I'm gonna move you back up to the headstock. Okay, I think that view's all right. So I wanna make kind of a traditional bowl, but I'd like it to be a little fancy. We're gonna try and bring in a good taper, and then put a beaded foot on it, and then have the bowl come away from that. So I'm gonna work it down and put the bead on it, and then start my line up to where I want the top of the bowl. And then I may try and put a matching bead at the top, roll it all the way in, so it looks like it comes around and dips down. Gives the bowl a foot. So we'll see how that works out. That's my goal. Wish me luck. We would want our bead up here to start about there. Maybe there. Sorry guys, the preview does not update on the phone as fast as I move the camera, so I gotta go real slow to try and get it true. I want it again. I think that's good. Right there. Yeah, that's alright. Oh, nope, it fell. Wasn't alright. Just a second. There you go, saw some live video editing, guys. All right, there we go. Tailstock engaged, much safer. Now if I get a catch, it's not gonna come out as easy. Ah. Hey you guys, you have to crank this lever down to make the thing tight. I want to be just a little below center so that ideally, I think, our tool faces that center line. That's our goal that we look for. We are gonna put our dust mask on. That's a little much coming straight up at us. Just a second, guys. It hasn't moved. And one side of this blank must just be way heavier than the other from the spalting, you know, like this part right here is not spalted at quarter versus the rest is pretty spalted. And I just cannot get it to turn faster than 500 without it wobbling, and the thing's darn round. So that's really odd, but so my guess is the bowl's internal weight is just really lopsided. It does not want to let me speed it up. So we're getting close to where we got to decide where we're going to put that foot curve and how we're going to do that. So I'm going to come down a little bit more and then make that happen. So, but we're getting pretty close to the shape my brain is thinking about. Not ideal to use this upside down, but I'm just trying to get a mark on the inside maybe. Not gonna let me. I'm going to try and make from the mark I have over here to the one I just put on the front, which I know you can't see, that's going to be the top bead. So we're going to see if I can do that here. Pretty well curved here. I just need to bring it in and around. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a cove in the face around this top bead. A little bit of the start of the bowl so I can get the sensation of rolling that bead in. Okay, I hope those beads come up. I'm gonna take this part of the bowl down some more to get more accentuation on those beads. And then we're gonna start working on the inside. We'll move things around again, but I'm gonna take this down just a little bit more so I think those beads have a better view. I think that'll be nice. But yeah, it's rough because it's ingrain, you know. Every time I would break out a piece, it's rough, but I think it will sand up and it'll end up fine. I don't know why it's still so chunky in the spinning. All I can think of is it really is out of balance internally. Okay. It's much closer to what I think I'm looking for. Little ring. And then, okay, we'll turn it around. We'll make this ring roll over the top, go in. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna get you flipped. All right, we're back. I've got this set up to run a bore. I've got a 2 1/8 Forstner bit. That's my biggest Forstner bit. That's just gonna help cut this bowl out, especially since it's ingrained. It's gonna be so rough. It's super hard to cut the center anyways. We're gonna bore it. I don't have one of the laser systems to tell me how deep I am or anything like that. So I'm gonna take a measurement from the top to just above my bead, and I'm gonna see how far that is, and then hopefully I can measure that far on the headstock. Okay, so 4 inches. My headstock will not quite go 4 inches, so that's good. I should not be able to bottom out. I'm at, I guess let's adjust this and get a good measurement. There. Oh. I'll get us started at the 1 inch mark, and I'll take us to the 4 inch mark. That'll give us 3 inches, and then I'll just have to cut the last inch. Hopefully this will do this. It's also not ideal necessarily to run this out on a stock because I get more play obviously, but I want you guys to have a good view of what's going on. It should be okay. Like, we're gonna make this hole a lot bigger, so it having wobble and making an oblong circle or somehow, some way, it's not gonna be an issue. I'll just try and hold it in one side. That's why I brought the stock up. And we wanna make sure it doesn't spin too much on us. So we're gonna try and stop it from spinning as best we can. We're gonna go nice and slow. That's what I was afraid of. It's stuck here. This I can't get tight enough. May not be able to do this with this extension. I may have to put it in the chuck. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this tight enough. This guy does not have a flat spot on it for these set teeth. I guess I could put one on it. I'll be back. We're going to try and put a flat. Okay, we used our tool sharpener to put a tiny flat spot on that. Hopefully that shows up. We're going to see if these will bite into that or not and keep it still. If not, we'll have to take out this little extension. Which is okay. We didn't really want to have to do that. I tried to line it up with the marking that tells me the size and stuff so I can see it. Not quite. There we go. That one's set. Remember, kids, always turn your screw backwards. You feel it drop and then turn it forwards. And you will never cross thread anything. All you have to do is be patient. Okay, we're gonna run this back up to 1 inch. Check. We're gonna come back up into contact. Check. Tighten this down. Check. This is still tight. Okay, so hopefully this will stay now. Yeah, now we spin in the chuck. Yep. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out how to get this tighter. Give me. Okay, I kind of got this working. I really got to keep a grip of it. Also, don't know how sharp this blade is because I'm getting some burning instead of cutting. But we are doing end grain, which again is really hard. And so we're gonna just take it easy. We're gonna make sure we don't have a fire breakout from a little ember falling or something. We've got about 1 more inch to go. Just give it a quick sand so I can show you a little of what the bowl's gonna look like, a little preview here, as it were, while we wait for things to cool down. Come with me, camera. Magnet is good. There we go. Still too fast. Give you an idea of what we're looking at, what we're working with. I just touched it with the 180. You can see the profile we're gonna have, hopefully. But yeah, you can see it's all ingrained, so this is gonna take a lot of work. We're gonna have to take it to a really high finish. Put a crack running here. Hopefully that's not an issue because of that knot. As we come through there, you know, I may fill that with some CA. I may do that now. I don't see any others. Maybe that's one starting. It's hard to tell because of the spalting, you know. But it's going to be a good looking bowl. I'm going to fill that just because I'm not sure what it's going to do when I cut that knot out of there, and I don't know how far that little knot goes or anything. So we'll see. That's going to be it for today. I'll come back and work on this tomorrow. So see you soon. Alright folks, we're back. We're turning this maple bowl. Like I said, we get it bored out. I let the drill bit cool down, and then we're gonna clean this up and start hollowing the inside. It's been a couple days. I took yesterday off. Did some cleaning in the shop, stuff like that. But yeah, everything should look about the same to you, other than I moved the camera. So we'll get this. I'm gonna try and get this hollowed out. Remember, I took it down almost all the way deep for the whole depth of the bowl. I'm gonna do my best to follow the outside profile, and I'm gonna start drawing the face out and start dishing this in as I work my way down. And we're gonna start things out with our big bowl gouge. See what we can do with this. Hopefully this tool will work okay for me on this. We still can only turn it about 500. It still wobbles much above that, especially getting to 600. So just the blank itself, even though it's round, is odd weight, and I really do think it's because this quarter of the piece is not spalted and the other 3/4 is, and so I think that's causing our wobble. That out of 500 is that this piece is just heavier. Usually spalted wood is lighter, from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I know. So hopefully this will turn okay at 500. Now we're at 480. We're just gonna hold her there. And remember, we're cutting into end grain this whole time, so it's going to be rough to go. There's going to be a lot of dust, but I may have to switch to scrapers because of that. We'll see. That's the way this blank is cut. All right. Not what we want to happen right at the beginning, but better we learn about it then than later. Let's crank this down a good bit. It feels like it has about the same bounce. We're gonna run it again, running about 480. We're gonna not take such a deep cut there. And when one of them comes off, it's the hardest thing ever to get it back true. I have a hard time with it anyways. Close. Good news though, where I put the super glue, nothing happened to it when it fell. We got this gooseneck carbide. I've never really used these much. I'm not very good with them. I'm gonna give this a shot then. Here I'm using my round nose carbide roughing gouge. I don't know what happened to the clip where I switched it, but I lost that one. The gooseneck just was not working. It would catch and twist in my hand like it always does. Ah. I should not have done a tenon. Maybe the mortise. This part right here, where it transitions from down to across, is really catching bad for me. Where I'm having the hardest time. You can see I'm giving it a lot of tilt. That makes it a lot easier on the cut, a lot less stress on the bowl. More micro scraping instead of cutting. Shoot, we were doing good. This part is very thin, and it's thick right here, and it's really thick from here down. Not close on the bottom yet either. I mean, I'm getting there, but like, I'm not even into the bead we put on. So we're doing good. I've got a little bit more foot I can take from down here, so that's good. Here's where if the bowl comes off, we're in big trouble because we'll get the rest clear down in here. Sorry guys, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how long you were to the side. I apologize. I focused on what I was doing. Give you all a gander. We're getting there. We're nearly done. And that was bad footaging. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it had pivoted. It may just be the vibration. Still really thick from here down. We can take this in a lot, flatten this wall out. We pretty flat till here, and then we turn it in. And so you can see this line here is where I start to curve. So I need to push that down more, make it up to the outside shape. You always want the inside of your bowl to be shaped like the outside of your bowl. That's the real goal. Then it feels like a true bowl when you hold it. It doesn't feel shallow, doesn't feel funny, and look funny. The inside doesn't look like the outside. It just looks funny overall. Yeah, but we're up to like 560. Okay, we're getting really close. Yeah. Okay. We want to round this top over so it's a uniform roundness. I'm going to try to get just a little bit of the curve on the inside too. See if we can pull that off. Okay, we were turning up around 600. That's good. This feels really even. This is probably one of the best bowls I've made considering it's in grain. We're going to start sanding. It's really going to come to life when we sand. Get this out of here. You guys probably can't see anything. Going to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. It'll be a little darker because the finish I have isn't quite clear. But yeah, that's our color with some isopropyl on 80 grit. Big crack here. And there's the crack we super glued from the outside. So we're going to super glue finish the whole inside, I think. And the outside too. So see if we can get fill in some of this if it's end grain. Bring it up to where it's smooth. Build it up. I'll use one of the thicker CA glues. See if we can't get this smooth. On a good note, that's not going to change our color. It's going to make it the same color as the isopropyl. But we're going to doctor our two cracks first. And make sure that they're going to hold and set up and give them time. And we'll probably finish it tomorrow. There's a crack. And there's a crack. There's a crack. Alright. I'm gonna turn y'all off while I do the super glue stuff.
It still sounds
good? Oh, I don't have my microphone. Hold on, I'm not wearing my mic, guys. You know, you can't tell if the freaking microphone is connected or not on the phone preview. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hopefully. It shows connected, so I'm gonna guess that it is. Yeah, the mic icon, the mic light's on, and it showed it on the back of the thing, the preview. Okay, so should be working now. Just gonna give this a wipe down, see what's actually real. Let that dry, see what we're working with. Okay, yeah, so these white spots are really there, but we're not full yet. Like I can feel that. So I'm gonna sand this down some more, see what that does to the finish, and then apply more super glue and see if we can't continue to build this up through there where it's rough through this transition. Yeah. And we may just have to like go back down, like rough sand it out and do that again. Cause up here is fine. I like the build that we have here. I'm okay with it. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing some work on that. This is the problem with an in-grain bulb. It's crazy how much super glue ends up on the cloth, like from all that. This is already like sealed through. It almost came through 4 layers. We're gonna do a little more on the outside. Another layer there and a polish up to 800 there. So I'm gonna get the outside coated in another layer. Honestly, I'd have to add a lot of glue to this to take up the texture. This is just gonna feel like an old bowl. Like, and it makes it looks old, it looks worn, it's got some chips and checks or whatever. But the super glue helped smooth it out a good bit, so it actually feels good to the touch. Now you can't see that very well on the camera, but that's what it is. So we are, I'm gonna call this good. And then we're gonna do the outside again. We'll do that. If I can get you where you can see it better. Oh. There's the ceiling. Hey, I have hex lights, guys. There we go. Make sure nothing feels sharp. I don't feel any catching. It's turning at 150 RPMs. I run my hand all over it. Doesn't feel bad. So, yeah. This will be a nice, useful bowl for whoever gets it. And, you know, I'll let them know, hey, this has a super glue finish, so don't put anything hot in it. It should really just be for decoration, or maybe store candy. You could probably eat popcorn out of it. But you know, you have to wash it by hand. So, yeah, basically a decorative bowl would be best. Maybe it just sits on a mantle somewhere. All right, we're gonna get the foot finished. And then I'll show you what we're working with. So I engaged the lock so that it can't move now. Whenever I do that, I always hard turn off the lathe so I don't actually turn it on with that lock, because it'll cause the spindle to slip. The motor will still turn. Yeah, that's bad for your lathe. So I usually, when I try to flush cut these, I use a flush cut saw. And then this blade has a cross cut side and a rip side. It's a cheap Japanese pull saw I got from Amazon. Nothing crazy, guys. It says it's a GYOKUCHO. It's worked really good for me for a long time. I got a set of them. Yeah. I don't have any affiliation with anybody or anything like that. So, a lot more sawdust than I thought. It's catching some of it. Oh, we're really close. So here's where I gotta hold it flat. There we go. We'll always end up with a little bit you gotta take care of. But yeah, I can. Yeah, so it's got a little bit of a domey shape. It's got a little bit of a domey shape, so I'm gonna stop. I'll get out that other chuck, try and get this mounted in here this way so that I can work on this end, and you'll be over there the next time I do that. So we'll be right. So this is my I think they're called Cosworth chucks. This one had a name brand, so they don't call it that, but instead of having a bunch of positions like cold jaws do, yeah, this is from Ron Brown's Best. This one has a spiral system, and there's a finger hold here and there's one on the back, and so you have infinite size locking. And then he makes this for the size of your lathe. You know, you tell what size lathe you got. So yeah, it's not quite as, it doesn't hold quite as tight as a cold jaw, but it's really close. You don't need super tight for a cold jaw. Usually you're not turning much on this. And so you got these, and then it comes with a bunch of ring locks if you want to fix mount your bowl with a retention ring to this. That would let you turn and really lock it in. like this, and then your bowl would fit. This ring would hold your bowl or spindle, and then you put it on there, and then you'd catch these and those, and it'd be really secure then. But we didn't make the bowl that size, and you could hold on the inside if you had a rim, or you can hold on the outside, obviously. So I'm gonna make this big, put the bowl in here. So we've got just that little spur where it broke and didn't take from the saw, and some of this needs touched up, but overall from here to here, it's going uphill, and then from here, it's flat. So I want it to go in a little to the center. That way it'll find 3 points on the outer ring, and it should just sit. Turn it as far as my fingers will go, guys. All right, tell that one's loose. Oh, not so much. Better. All right, let's get the scraper. Now, I don't know how far I can go in on this dish. I got to be pretty careful. See, we caught a catch, and that popped the bowl out. We'll cut too deep. Oh. Yeah, see how much that caught a catch and lifted? It took a chunk out. And I thought we had it flatter. Okay, we may just have to sand to our concave. Oh, I did not want to do that. But let's make it. Oh yeah. Yeah, so when you get a catch and the bowl pops free, you gotta loosen all these again. So I'm gonna reset this, I'll pause, I'll get it back in. You saw that, you don't wanna watch that. The other scraper. Maybe this guy. Let's see if this guy will do it. Yeah, I felt good about some of that. Yeah, clean passes. We're gonna take it off and see how she sets. If we're happy, then you won't see this again. If I'm unhappy, you will see this thing again. So, got the bottom finished up. Sanded it up to 400. I only sanded it in forward, and I used both ends of my sandpapers. I sanded it from 80 up, so you can see there's literally half the bowl flip it, half the bowl. I did that 80, 120, 240, 400 to get it up, but I only sanded in forward and I didn't clean in between because that forced any excess sawdust into the end grain in here. And so it's solid. There's no weird pullouts or anything like that because they're filled with sawdust. Now those parts are gonna discolor when I finish it, but it will finish flat and smooth, and I'm only gonna seal it the same way. So that's what we're about to do now, is super glue this. Get it going real slow. And I didn't want to open a new medium thick super glue for this. And I already have open a heavy thin. So we're gonna use this heavy thin and try to get this done. That way. Oh, it just takes it. Oh no. Oh good, that missed the lathe. Got some super glue stuck to my knuckle. Fuzzy blue knuckles, guys. Comment down below if you heard me say fuzzy blue knuckles if you made it this far. We're gonna let that dry. And then we're gonna go through and hit our spots that didn't take. And make sure we got them. And then we'll probably do another coat. And then I think we're gonna have a done bowl. So give me just a little bit for this to set. And then we're gonna go through and do some spot touches. I'm not gonna make you watch this spot touching, but you get the idea. I'll just little dabble do ya, wipe it, get all those little there, all this. It needs to go both ways, you know, because the way the holes are, but they feel flat, so that's good. I don't feel any actual issues or depressions in any of that. So my idea with working the sawdust into the holes really worked on this one on the bottom. I didn't want to do that on the inside because it would take away so much of the figure. Maybe I should have done it that way. I don't know. If you have an idea in the comments and you watched this and knew what I should have done finishing an end grain bowl, let me know. Did what I thought was best. All right, guys.